Folks, hello and welcome to the Tavern Chat Cast. I am your host, your bartender in the OSR, Eric Tenkar, and hey, today is, looking at my watch, July 27th. This would have been Gary's birthday, right? Now, here's the thing. Without without Gary and without Dave Arneson, we wouldn't have D&D. We probably wouldn't have RPGs as we know it. They probably would have evolved at some point, but they would have evolved differently. Now, I hear uh, rumblings and grumblings, usually from those that already have a set agenda that uh, Gary is, dangerous, or Gary is a difficult personality to discuss these days. No, he's not. Okay? Um, Judge the man by what he gave to the community. He gave us, not just Dungeons and Dragons, but he gave us this whole concept of fantasy role playing, of role playing games in general, as we know them. That is thanks to Gary and his stubbornness, his ability to market, to push, to have a vision. So, yes, we owe the man a lot. Now, if you're one of those talking heads over at the Gen Con uh, YouTube channel, who we don't talk for Gen Con, yet we're the official Gen Con YouTube channel. Do some actual research. It's not that hard. I mean, it blows my mind that people can't even do a Google search or go into Wikipedia. And Wikipedia is by far not the be all and end all, but if you are a lazy fuck, it is probably the easiest way to get some basic information on people, on things. Uh, you can go a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of information out there on Gary, and I think that we do a disservice by doing something that's very. Oh, Gary, do you know that Gary limited the strength of women in his games to 1850 exceptional strength? I always thought it was bullshit, and I never used it. But there's a lot of rules I never used for the player characters that would definitely apply to, I guess, NPCs. Or maybe you have NPCs that are exceptions to the rules, right? I mean, are you going to go back and say Gary was a perfect individual? No. But may he or she that is without sin throw the first stone. None of us are without sin. None of us. I don't care how holy, how pristine some people claim that they are so they can judge others, but they are not. They are not. Again, I owe Gary personally so much. I was a shy kid. There's no two ways about it. I was a shy child. I was a shy teen. RPGs, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition in particular, got me out of that shyness, got me to make friends, got me to bond, taught me language, taught me math, taught me vocabulary words that sometimes my teachers did not know in junior high school. There aren't too many games that are going to do that or are going to push children, teenagers, young adults to expand their horizons. Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games in general do that. I never got to meet Gary. I went to Gen Con once. It was, I don't know, Gen Con, I want to say Gen Con 25. So, I don't know, 93, 94, around then. And I did not get to meet Gary. I did, however, pick up Dangerous Journeys at that time. And then years later, on N-World, of all places, I got to know Gary because he was a frequent poster. And I used to use coppers and crullers as my, uh, I don't know, in addition to being 10 car, my quote, my description. And it was an inside joke because I was a cop and I pretty much didn't like donuts on patrol. Because donuts were often those powdery sugar donuts and you're wearing a dark blue uniform. So crullers generally didn't have that. Crullers generally had like a brown sugar. So you weren't going to get a mess. And Gary noticed that when I commented on something he said. And he goes, "Are you a cop?" And I go, "Yes, I am." I go, "NYPD." And I think, "Well, if you're ever in Lake Geneva, come by the house. Let me know you're coming. We'll game on the back porch." And it was a beautiful offer. It was a beautiful offer made to a complete stranger. And my understanding is Gary did this with lots of people. And he gamed with all these people on his back porch. Complete strangers, but not complete strangers, right? Because you have that bond. You have the bond that you are a gamer. It's that secret handshake. We talk about, whoa, thieves in our world have this secret language. Gamers have a secret language. We know how to find each other. We know how to identify each other. All right? And Gary was someone who, if you identified as a gamer, would literally take you into his home. I don't know what more you can say about somebody other than that. And this is Gary shortly before he passed. Now, is it every decision that he made, business-wise or personal-wise, in retrospect, a good one or a right one? Hell no. None of us can say that in our life. All right? I know I can't. But I will say this. All my bad decisions in my life put me where I am now. And where I am now, I wouldn't change for the world. I got a wonderful wife, child, family. I got this community. So, a lot of times you become what you are due to the trials and tribulations that you put yourself through. I think Gary was probably a better man when he passed, and probably when he was out on the West Coast pushing the D&D cartoon. I've heard the stories. I wouldn't call the individual that was out on the West Coast necessarily a good man, but I think Gary died a good man. You know, again, I'm not judging him on how he lived, but on how he left us. What he was offering when he left. Again, he was offering complete strangers to open the door to his home and share the commonality of gaming. And I think that's just beautiful. That's amazing. We should all be that generous. Really. So, on that note, folks, they are changing the COVID suggestions or regulations for those that are vaccinated and masks and all that stuff. Listen, all I'm going to tell you, folks, and I tell you this every fucking time I talk to you, use your common sense. You know your risk factors. You know what you got to do to keep yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends healthy and safe. If you need advice, seek a medical professional whose advice that you will trust. Ignore the talking heads, whether they be on YouTube or TV or in the papers or wherever. They don't know shit. All right? Be safe. Be well. God bless each and every one of you. Roll your dice. Roll them well. And God willing, I'll be back again tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, with Bad Mike Badalato and I believe Jeffrey Talanian. I think Jeff is our special guest. Holy shit, this is going to be fun. All right, folks. On that note, again, thank you. Later.